Okay, I just back to my slide. So you can see this is the transportation in the city. You can see the red line and the dotted basically is about metro station. So I just explained at the spine of this. So it's connected all of this cityscape, and it's very easy. So all these great development are located at the central spine, and you can see around here it's just desert and some of the housing. There are some of the housing. So I think that and you can see the promenade and the waterfront are much established before, and you can see the Palm Island and some of the feature, for example, like the hotel and also some interesting restoration of that particular old area of Dubai. This is the Masjid Metro Station. I still remember this is the station that once I arrived in Dubai from the airport in the morning, 5 a.m. So we took this metro, very easy, very convenient. Then we stopped at this Masjid Metro Station. I'm using this. We just using this metro station to travel from one place to another, because all of these urban spaces are much connected with this metro. It's very interesting also to see. I'm not sure what is the concept, but you can see very high tech and modern form. It's a bit looks like a shell or something. And this is the terminal. So they have a two side, okay, north and south of Dubai. And you can see very large. Of course, the climate are much different with Malaysia. You can see not so much trees around the station, because, of course, they have some hottest climate, especially in the summer. So people mention that they will reach around 50 something degrees Celsius. But when I was there last couple of days, so the climate basically around 20, 22, 20, and also the lowest, I think 17 in the morning. For example, like when we go to a mosque for Fajar, so the temperature basically around 18, so it's a bit comfortable compared with our country. This is some of the build form. What you can see here is a mixed use of basically this is all the high-end condominium and apartment. So the you can see in front of it the the highway and large highway, right, and also some pocket spaces there. So very clear in terms of how you create the identity of this particular zone. And here also you can see very significant the skyline of the city center. Uh, Basically, that's why when we're talking about the urban landscape. So normally in the city we can find out the different typology, right? The zone of city center, the zone of residential area. This is a suburban area, right? So you can see the white color shows the housing at the suburban areas. So this metro connected between the suburban and also the central business district. So including of course the city center of, you can see the skyline of Burj Khalifa and other skyscrapers of Dubai towers. It's very interesting to see. You know that in terms of urban design, basically they need some simulation before they fix the building. So it's not just place the block, everywhere in the city, but they must control a certain character of the where they want to put a cluster of skyscrapers, where they should maintain a certain building height. So all this must be managed well to create a character of the urban landscape of this particular city. So this is another. You can see there are just some places, so they allow of the urban or some high-rise building. So again, so maybe this is I think a video. So this is a video that I took along my way to the expo, the World Expo of Dubai. So you can see this is what I'm in this on board of the metro. So very interesting visual. So that's why in our field, when we design a place, a city, so we also need to consider the visual, how the landscape can portray certain uniqueness of the some particular of zone. Yeah. So you can see this short movie, right? So this is at the Dubai Marina. Actually, inside there is very interesting bit form, but I don't have chance to go due on my tight schedule. So hopefully, uh, I can go later. This is a very famous hotel in Dubai. What is the name of this hotel? Isfar?
Burjul Arab.
Sorry.
This one is Burjul Arab, right? The big tall building.
Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of the famous, the early
Yeah.
landmark of Dubai. So this is one of the early development that shows the futuristic of Dubai city. So I think I can remember uh, this hotel. There was a big kind of tournament tennis. Two great players in the world. I forgot that two famous players. They play a tennis game on the top of the roof. So one of the interesting landmark of the Dubai city. This view actually coming from my hotel. At night you can see it's quite interesting light up of this tower. And some pocket spaces that next to the block, the urban block. So you can see, you can find out some bougainvillea they plant on the feature pot there, and that's the sidewalk. So basically, in the city, we need to plan the sidewalk way, okay, to make to ensure that people can walk more comfortable from one place to another. This shows how I already mentioned to you about connecting people from one place to another. I think the building also need to consider when you talking about the urban landscape. So the image, for example, this is the showroom of Ferrari. There are a lot of great companies there, Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, right? So of course that Dubai people, they really enjoy having a great cars like this. So what interesting for me is about how the view from the metro line, we can see the nice landscape of the road, nice building character. So all this will giving a kind of value of this particular city, especially when once we really think about some feature. So it also can give a certain identity of this particular place. Okay, I have chance to travel to the old Dubai. So we plan to go to Dubai Go City. So you can see the mixture, the urban pattern shows this is one of the old areas in Dubai. Right? So you can see the different type of build form. This is what we call a pattern, urban pattern. So you can see the small street, the small unit of building. So basically, it consists of on the ground is a shop, then the second and third floor basically of their housing. Okay, they stay there, a shop house, right? Same like shop houses in Malaysia. And they have also some new development along the river edge, as well as the this is what we call a Dubai Creek is one of the what they call the old area of Dubai, right? So this is the character. So there are certain every corner of a city, they have different type of value, because this value actually consists of building, the sidewalk, okay, the landscape, the activities, cultural activities there. So this will create a genius loci. So what is genius loci? uh, GENIUS LOCI. Genius loci is identity. So how to spell this is, I think okay, this genius loci. Genius loci is kind of identity of the place. Okay, when you go to the city, you try to understand the environment, the setting. So you can see the road is very small. Maybe here they use horses, small car, long time ago. And this urban creek neighborhood, they are very close because of the street is very small, and some of the area already changed into the pedestrian walk like this. I believe that this is a street. You can see the street, or this line is a street, but some street was already changed into the pedestrian walk with the covered walkway. So example, this Dubai City of Gold pedestrian walk. And at the perimeter road, you can see very wide. This is one of the identity, not so much in Malaysia. You can see it. They have one, two, 6 lane, right? 6 lane of this one for one corridor, and another 6 lane. So from building to building, it's maybe it's almost 1 kilometer, or sorry, less than maybe 600 meter or 700. So they have a 6 lane. They have a 4 meters pedestrian walk, and they have another parking area inside there, and the building. So this show the identity of this particular zone. And you go further, so this is the character. This character very unique because you can see the small street. This, of course, this neighborhood, they are very close to each other, right? And they sell something like clothes, all this stuff. So it create the identity of this particular zone. You can see below on the ground floor, they're all shop there selling clothes, some local stuff, yeah. And upper floor basically their housing, their house. Yeah. Okay, this is the Urban Creek, and you can see the mosque at the end of this corridor become a focal point. You can see the minaret, so such of giving a sense of direction. Okay, when we see this minaret tower, it giving a sense of direction for giving some of uh, unique identity of this area. Yeah, this is some of the stuff that stay at this Urban Creek, the old area, and it's very famous with the gold as well. So when we're talking about culture, talking about the identity, it's not just about the building, it's not just about the physical, but also activities. So from these activities, it will also create the identity of this particular area. For example, there are a lot of stuff or kiosk shop selling gold. I'm not sure whether it's cheap or expensive. But for me, I'm much interested on how this place giving a kind of a unique identity of this particular area. This is, I think, the restoration area of the not new area. So maybe some of the old building, or this is at the old port of city of Dubai, and maybe they preserve some of the building there, and they introduce also some new. So the minaret of this, for example, this tower become a focal point and sense of direction. Okay, this is the one of the station that close to the old town. We can see here the design is a uh, bit classical or vernacular with a local identity. For example, you can see uh, the frame of this window and also doors are uh, much decorated of this building facade to give some identity of this particular station, rush station, in the context of vernacular architecture at the old town. Compared with the modern architecture just now at the along the Sheikh Zayed Road, so they are all modern and high tech buildings. So the image making also a bit different. So this at night. This is the mosque that close to our hotel. It's very interesting also. Why I'm using this, I'm taking this picture because it shows very detailed. Actually, as an urban designer, it's not just about the outdoor. That's why I just mentioned to you. We also need to consider the cultural living identity. So you can see well decorated mosque inside there, the interior and also the exterior. So you can see this is some of the feature there, the detailing of the mosque inside, giving such identity of very high value of religion. Example, the Muslim world, right? The identity, the culture. Okay, so this is some of the image. I think that in the urban landscape, we also can apply it later in the context of streetscape when you design the feature wall, the urban panel, decoration panel, the shelter. So you can use all these decoration that can show some identity. But this is the station of, so this is the rush station interior. Maybe I like to move outside. You can see a bit vernacular, right? A bit vernacular, but inside you can see very modern decoration, as well as the material. But this wall shows some identity of this place before. So it's part of the decorative wall. So it giving you some clues what is this place before, especially before it changed into the modern world of city of Dubai. Okay, lighting, I'm also traveled to University of Sharjah. It's very quite interesting place. 1 hour from city of Dubai, and I can see a lot of impressive landscape, including this flowering shrub. They're giving identity of this university, and open lawn. They have a good sidewalk, right? Very organized. So this is the University of Sharjah. Of course, when we talk about a place just now, every zone they have their different identity, including institutional, residential, city center. So what I want to mention to share actually, every when we go a city, we examine the elements, the softscape, the landscape that portray certain uniqueness of this particular area. So this is, you can see the, it's very interesting color scheme, the architecture that represent of the local identity of Dubai. This is at the University of Sharjah. It now come into the tallest uh, building in the world. Maybe my second chance I can get up to the what they call it, the viewing deck. Unfortunately, last week I don't have chance to go there. Hopefully, I can come later. So it's very interesting to see one of the world iconic landmark is the Burj Khalifa. So when they introduce this tower, this become a magnet that can catch people coming to city of Dubai. So that's why nowadays it's very easy to promote some urban features. For example, through Facebook, Instagram, so all these social media are so powerful. So when once you introduce a good landscape, great design, it will giving a good promotion for people to come and to enjoy the place. Of course, it's almost like KLCC. If you compare with Conway City Center, they have a big park, urban park around the building to portray the building from the ground floor level, and around it you can see the all this connection through various type of connectivity. For example, the skywalkway, the pedestrian mall, all this mass connection, including the road system as well as the metro line. So this is the tower. I already share this to you. So very interesting to see how they light up the tower in the evening. So urban lighting also play very important, especially to portray certain uniqueness, identity of this world great towers. So you can see different type of this. How I think the lighting consists of new technology, uh, luminance that show up the building character. So the urban landscape not just about outdoor, but also how you portray the image making of this particular building. So you can see very interesting uh, pattern. Yeah, it's kind of a evening performance. So not just from people, but also the building also can give kind of uniqueness performance to the public. And along this side, this is the Dubai Fountain. Very interesting. You can see the control of the skyline along it, because they really want to show up this Burj Khalifa Tower, and around it they have a great restaurant, mall, and also mixed use development of office and the high end housing. So this is a musical fountain. Uh, so many people along this seem like KLCC, I think. So people taking photo, enjoy the evening scenes. So this also part of the how the landscape architect can produce your great masterpiece. Yeah, for people enjoy the place. Can you see it, guys? Hello.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
Fountain?
Yeah. So this is the lighting. So lighting, one of the features that you need to consider as an urban design or urban designer or landscape architect. So you must control. We need to control certain flare in order for us to show up. What are the things that can be highlighted later on in the evening? So that's very important in terms of setting of material of light. You know the weightage of flare of this lighting. So all these are important. So the city has become iconic for its skyscrapers and highest building, in particular the world tallest building, especially the Burj of Khalifa. So this is the skyline, can shows the identity. And moving around, so this is the next to it, what they call it, the museum, the Dubai Museum of Future. So you can see the building next, on the right side. There's the museum, and it shows very unique, like a public art. It's like a sculpture, but it's a building. The building can be a sculpture, or sculpture also can be a building. So there's the view from the station, one of the metro there, and you can see this landform. There's so they not demolish this what they call it, the hill. They maintain the landform and they introduce the building. So this is the Museum of the Future, and it shows a very innovative design. Looks kind of very outstanding features. For example, using Arabic letter along the facade, and also the void shows very unique building. Can be another landmark of the city of Dubai. Okay, this is typical walkway. So not just about walking uh, by a walk path way, but also they provide walker letter that can bring people one place to another. Okay, sorry, this is supposed to be there. So the Museum of the Future designed by famous architect of Shaukila. So it gives us some aims to represent Dubai vision of the future. So that's why when we have a design ideas, you must have certain concept or theme that can carry your ideas. For example, the vision of this building is to three main element: the hill, the structure, and also the void. So you can see this void in the middle there, giving kind of innovation. The green hill represent of the earth. So how they maintain the landform. No, they put some interesting what you call the ground covers there, right? To enhance the building. Okay, very contrast, but it's very interesting, very simple design that can show up this museum of the future of Dubai become a new landmark of the city. Okay, I need to reduce this. This is part of that I think very common nowadays. Underneath of the highway, underneath of the metro line, so you can also design become a greenway. So what is the greenway? Greenway is a corridor that consists of various type of vegetation that bring people along the way, that can establish the habitat creation. Example here, to when they introduce a plant, not just making a nice visual, but also can turn down the temperature, the surface temperature in Dubai, especially in the during summer. And alongside of this area, they have a quite nice walkway to can see 2 meters walkway that can bring people one place to another. For me, building also important. This is the ski, what they call it, uh, ski buildings. People can play ski inside. So that's why you can see the level, right? So one of the what they call it, the theme park. Yeah. So this is in the city center, but it's quite interesting to look at how they establish the local architecture, become the new housing scheme, and this is the typical road of the housing at the suburban areas. So so you can see the different type of build form that create identity of the place. This is at Dubai Mall, and you can see the station over there. And when they have a void space, so the design you can collaborate with park. Example, people can move around it. People can jogging, do some leisure activities there. So it's not necessary to have another building, but you can also have this kind of great open spaces between the metro station and the mall. Okay, to escape this. Uh, I think I almost at the end. This is the one the Dubai World Expo station. For me, it's very interesting to see this station because our decoration is so looks like very high tech and modern. The light uh, uh, actually shows the sense of direction, where to exit, where to get in the platform, right? So there are various function of the feature here, especially the signage. You can see the ceiling as well. Uh, the ceiling of this building looks very interesting. And this is before I depart back to Malaysia. We visit just one day to Dubai World Expo Master Plan, and we do have a program over there, right? So you can see this is the master plan. That is the station coming to the entry point there, and in the middle they have a nice high tech dome. Then from there you can visit all this pavilion. They call it pavilion. This is a World Expo. This World Expo actually organized every 5 years. So next year we'll be back in Japan, in Osaka, if I'm not mistaken. So I visit this Dubai Exhibition Center. So they have a 200 over pavilion, but I cannot get in each pavilion. It's just go around it to see the ecosystem. Sorry, the environment at this Dubai Exhibition Center, and I went to some pavilion. For me, it's very interesting to collect all these design feature. So giving a strong identity of the welcoming to this expo, right? So you must create some interesting and grand feature. So when we enter this building, we need to see some unique or welcoming to this particular area. So this is the welcoming entry point of DEC, Dubai Exhibition Center, right? And middle is a sculpture to hold the anniversary, 50 years anniversary of DEC. It's quite large. They have a open plaza at the front, and here you can see from the middle, central spine to the internal walkway, and they have this bench sitting can be a barrier between this corridor and the central corridor. It's very interesting to see all these trellis, to uh, giving shade for people walking, but also to become a public art that make people enjoy and interesting to see. Um, I think in urban design also it's very important to establish some cluster of urban features. For example, like the rubbish bin, the signage, the digital signage, lighting, and also maybe some seating over there. So it's integration amongst the elements there. This is Mexican building. So you can see almost all building or all representative trying to show their own uniqueness. Same like all this Chile pavilion. It looks very simple. I don't have chance to go inside, but I think the color is so much contrast and giving kind of attraction to them as well. Okay, this is another pavilion. So every pavilion they have their own function. For example, in Malaysia Pavilion, we do have this university talk, industrial talk, whatever that can promote Malaysia in the global picture. So this is some another pavilion from UK, United Kingdom. So you can read. Some pavilion also can change at a certain time. For me, that's very interesting to see. But unfortunately, only just one day there. I cannot see much in the evening. So this is some pavilion design. For example, the Russia pavilion. So they design kind of a planet form. Maybe at night they have some luminaire performance. So trellis. So all this actually one the landscape architect task in giving the not just master plan but also to detail up the feature. The playground, yeah. This is the magical dome. For example, if you stay here in the evening, you can see a kind of reflection of simulation video at the glass panel. But unfortunately, I just spent until 6:30. But I got some pictures sharing from other groups that they play kind of video on the screen. It's kind of three-dimensional form there. And of course sitting here need to giving kind of new identity. So this is part of the seating arrangement. They have a quite 5 meter setback or 6 meter 6 meter setback. So in the setback they introduce seating, some components such as the signage, kiosk, or for food. What interesting for me, this picture, uh, the plants, the vegetation cover some utilities. For example, a fire hydrant box. So you can cover through a tall shrub. So it can be part, and also you can see how the color scheme of this particular box show one of the design character, as well as the pavilion of Hungary at the back. So it's again creating a sense of welcoming, sense of directions, things that need to be established here. Okay, so this is some of the elements in the expo. So I found out that the landscape here also kind of very interesting, and also well integrated between building area and also the outdoor areas. So some part of it, so they provide a communal space in the expo. So here maybe you can have some chatting with your friends, browsing your WhatsApp maybe. So this is kind of a small space that can make people to uh, uh, to s- to to stay and to enjoy while they chatting each other. So this is some design form of the urban landscape. For example, how the material can combine between a block here and also the sitting the block and also the uh, what they call using a timber or composite material. So it's very neat and organized material. You can see from here, there are a lot of landscape material. For example, a timber, concrete block. They can have a interlocking, a small interlocking there. So if you design a very detailed element, right, detailed component, it can give a more value to certain space. So this is another example. Yeah, this is another example. But of the most important actually, you need to also look at the scale, how it can fit into the local scale and also the international scale. Okay, this is the entrance plaza. So you can see the tree grating there, less than 1 meter, I think. Should be 1 meter. So this is how they treat the root of the plants. Signage, you can see during the COVID-19, the designer also introduced a hand sanitizer. Everything need to be designed. I think everything need to be designed and everything need to be planned, right? So this is one of the signage. Maybe We can copy this, the UTM 50 years celebration next year, inshallah. This is Australia Pavilion. I believe they have their own concept as well. So this is the dome. This is very interesting also for me because it shows some different in terms of the building material, and it giving kind of the futuristic form. I think the image architecture form are not so much different, but the combination between material and when the sun direction straight goes to this facade, so it gives certain different setting. Yeah. And this is the example. This is all the streetscape, the water cooler also. So everything need to be designed. It's another Angola country pavilion. Inside there, basically they open up any ministry can promote also their own style of product to the World Expo visitor. All right. This is the overall view of this Dubai Expo. So maybe I have a video here, but I'm not sure whether it can play on here or not. Let me try. Hmm. Okay, this they have a observation deck. You can see this is a moving deck that we can see 360 view of this expo. So here you can see the how the continuous covered walkway and the pavilion around the walkway. That's the walkway. You can see the trellis. So this is all blocked by a pavilion. This is Malaysia. Maybe you can see it here. Oh, that's the view. This is the Malaysia. You can see Malaysia pavilion.
Yes.
So you can see all this. It's very interesting for me. I think if you can have time maybe in the future to visit World Expo. So there are a lot of design, a lot of new material, new design concept ideas. For example, people are talking about 21st century living. Yeah. You can see the desert outside of this expo. So that's very interesting shape of the each. So this is the central walkway, the pedestrian mall that goes around the pavilion. And you can see below is an interesting waterscape, really giving kind of interesting sound to attract people to coming in. There's the dome. Okay, this is one of the interesting urban landscape here, the water feature. So I think when we introduce a certain landscape element like this, so you must think about how people can enjoy, how people can really, why they should coming to this. So of course, that they need to do something new, something good, right? So they have a water curtain, so people really can close to this water curtain, and some of them are coming here just to see and to experience this feature. So the water feature also giving a significant impact on the waterscape. Okay, the dustbin, right? Some of the landscape elements, including the kiosk, right? This is the Malaysian pavilion. So we have international global talk there. Bring UTM to the world and bring the world to UTM. And you can see what all of this actually giving a character and also sense of direction, because it's not easy for us to find out the a place that we need to visit. but you must give some clues how the landscape can also portray certain mobility or certain access. This is an example of the some zoning. For example, there is the Malaysian pavilion. They have a big, large walkway. Yeah. All the utilities like this electrical box also need to be part of the design. You cannot just simply like TNB or something, just blue color scheme. So you also can give some suggestion how the utilities can be part of the design. So I think for me, that's all from for today's class. So I think I already mentioned to you some of the important aspect about the case study of Dubai. So that's I think that's all for today. So you have any question, you can directly asking me now. And I think when talking about the urban landscape design, the importance of how we can integrate places, how we can bring people to enjoy the place from one to another, how the art also can give kind of a pleasant environment to the urban society or urban community, right? So the art also play very important. The public transport, right? The how we can also link people, how the landscape can integrate with public transportation hub to all areas in the city. So all this actually are very important aspect when we talk about urban landscape design. I think that's all for today, guys. I open up any question from you. Thank you. Isfar, do you want to add on something about my presentation or Dubai? Hello, Isfar. Anything that you want to say because you experienced this city before? Or is there any question from you guys? Are you looking forward to visit Dubai in the future?